Why, hello! Welcome to the show. I realized I totally forgot to turn the iPod off there for just a second. And my audio levels look really, really low. So, anyway. Let me bring, so Zach is here now.
Mm-hmm.
And his audio levels are going to be way higher than what mine are probably going to be. Zach, what's going on this week? Just, yeah.
Nothing really.
Wow, you're boring. Oh,
Well,
maybe?
actually, you know what? I picked up a hard drive to replace a hard drive that's entering initial stages of failure, according to at least its own self-testing. And guess what? It's a piece of crap. So I have to RMA it.
What did you pick up?
I picked up a WD Black of all things.
I thought WD was supposed to make good stuff, but like, so what are
Well, WD
black?
Blacks are supposed to be good, but
What are blacks for? What
it's
use
just like a
case?
better version of a blue.
Is that
A
all it
little bit
is?
better at everything.
Is that all it is? It's just supposed to be a little bit better at
It's just
everything.
a nicer version of a blue, yeah.
Hmm. I
And
see.
well, this particular black decided that when reading and writing, it's going to make this horrid sound like it's scraping the data off of the plastic to put it on
Oh,
the screen.
ouch.
So yeah, I was very displeased. Oddly enough, besides that, it actually works fine, but I'm absolutely not going to keep it.
Yeah. Oh,
I have
goodness.
already went to Amazon and said that I don't like it. And well, Amazon has this thing where you can exchange for a like item or whatever, but that didn't work, so I ended up just ordering another drive, and I'm just gonna ask for my money back and nothing else,
Right,
really,
for
hopefully.
sure. Man,
That.
that's that's not good.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of I do hear a lot of nice things about them. I mean, I guess I just got a crappy one. I don't know. Maybe it was damaged in shipping or something.
Right?
I mean, I'm not immediately ready to
How long did
pull
it
the
take?
model of
How
the
long did it
drive.
take to get it?
Like 2 days,
Oh,
3.
really? I was
Yeah.
wondering because like some things are like taking forever to ship from Amazon because of everything that's going on right now.
Yeah, the new one's not. The new one that I ordered yesterday is not supposed to be here until Wednesday, so it's a little bit extra.
Okay, I see. Well, I would say our volume levels are about at the same spot. So, okay, that's pretty good. Cool. Um, I struggle sometimes with getting our audio levels to be in sync,
Hmm.
which is really weird. I think there's just a too many different variables with things and stuff like that because like audio is one thing that I'm actually decently good at. Um, but I don't know. It's hard to read things in OBS sometimes too. I'm not exactly sure exactly where the audio levels are. Like completely. Well, whatever. Anyway, so yeah, that's the thing. So this week's show is going to be a little bit different because I've been crazy kind of busy with like a lot of projects. So with everything going on, I have been I've always done a decent amount of tech work for the church, my church. I'm just like I'm like the self-appointed IT director there now. But with
A
all this,
prestigious position,
I
no
know.
doubt.
But with all this going on, hey, I have a giant playground to play with, so that's kind of cool. But
Does sound mildly neat, yeah.
yeah, exactly. I have a giant playground. So anyway, uh, we have been live streaming and we're using webcam to capture our video. And through no fault of the webcam, it just is not necessarily up to the task of capturing the entire altar portion of the church. It's not designed for that. It's designed for close proximity, like what we're doing here. This is a webcam, and it looks decent. But when you're talking about multiple people up on an altar and you're trying to capture the whole thing, it just doesn't work very well. So, we are going to be looking into getting some kind of, like, more professional style camera that we can mount at the back of the church and then face it towards the altar. And then we're going to have to run, like, 200 some feet of, like, coax cable to the front of the church where we've got this little tiny room where the actual computer sits. So, that's going to be interesting. So, we're going to go across the balcony and then, like, down through conduit, down to the basement, across the basement, through some other shenanigans. I have to crawl back up in the crawl space again. Oh, joy. Pass the wire through there, run it across another room, run it up into a cabinet, come through the cabinet, and then into this room. So, that's going to be an interesting thing. But, you know. Anyway. So, that should be fun. But, I'm not happy with where my audio... Wow, hang on. Hang on. Let me check something real quick. Hang on. See, here's the problem. I'm having a hard time monitoring what the actual audio levels sound like. So... because this will tell me whether or not I need to actually raise the volume or not. Oh, goodness gracious. You know, what a novel idea that iPads actually have headphone jacks on them.
What is this secret technology you speak of? Cable for your headphones?
Oh,
Are you some kind of caveman who can't afford AirPods? Come on now.
I hear what you're hearing. Okay. Zach's like,
You
there's
know what
like
I'm
this
hearing?
weird, like, hissing hum noise kind of thing.
Yeah, there is. There kind of still is.
Yeah, I can hear it on the live stream.
Yep.
Which is weird. So now I'm hearing everything, like, delayed back. And it's like three... So now you're talking about the AirPods, which is really funny. Let's see here. Microphone. Let's see. I hate the new control panel. And
You mean the Windows settings?
yes, I can't
Modern
ever find what I'm looking for in it.
Modern interface, though. Come on. It's modern and cool.
Did it go away?
What do you mean it's modern and cool?
No. I meant the buzz. Or the hum, or whatever you were hearing.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, it did?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were exclaiming for it that you wished it would go away.
No, I'm asking if it did go away.
Hold on. Talk some more?
1, 2, 3,
No.
4. It's still there. Okay.
Boot it up.
Let's see. Continue running on battery power. Listen to this device. Levels. Advanced. Give exclusive mode. Application priority. Allow applications to take exclusive jack information. Generic USB audio. Levels. Okay. Ooh, now I'm really quiet, aren't I?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Wait, what if... Okay, does that make it any worse?
It just makes you louder.
Okay, but it doesn't make the noise any louder.
No. This might be the best iteration we've had so far. To be honest.
This is watch us fix our audio this week.
I don't know what didn't do anything.
Okay, yeah, okay, so it's gone now. Okay, so now Zach is going to be really quiet. Okay, so I think what the issue is the audio source coming into the system, like the level is way too high. And so anyway, I think that... So I turned the audio level of the audio going into the computer down.
Okay.
So let me adjust your audio now so that you're about in sync with me. And I sound pretty good. Okay, so let me unplug those. Okay.
Why don't you turn that Why don't you turn that noise suppression thing off too?
Oh, yeah. So there's this new noise suppression thing in... Okay, now that's off.
There we go, okay. That's why you were sounding not very clear.
Oh, I wasn't sounding clear. Okay.
Well, you were sounding perfectly audible, just...
I wasn't sounding very clear. Okay. And now I need to adjust your level in OBS.
I think it works. It works. Woohoo.
Okay. I need to adjust your audio level in OBS because now you're really quiet. Okay, let's try that, and I will slightly adjust later if I need to. Anyway, we have to run this really, really long, like, what we're calling it's an SDI cable. It's like a long coax cable with, like, special ends on the end of it, and that's what makes it a SDI cable. Anyway, so that's what we're going to be using, but we ran into a snag. So I purchased I have an Elgato capture card in the system, my system, Remnant, right? Well, I figured what's better than using a webcam, Zach?
I don't know.
So, well, the next logical thing would be an actual camera, right?
Okay.
So I have a little point and shoot, and I was like, okay, we'll use the point and shoot. So we go from a capture card we go from the camera to a capture card, and then that brings it in over HDMI, right? So I pop open the system down there at the church, right? What do you think the first problem I ran into was? Any guesses?
I'm just trying to think of something really dumb. I have no idea.
It's an older system, I'll give you that.
It has the wrong port on it? I don't know.
Yeah, it's got PCI, or what's the predecessor to PCI Express?
PCI.
Yeah, so it's got PCI ports. It's got one PCI Express slot, which is populated with a graphics card.
Oh, okay. And the rest are just normal PCIs?
Right, yep. And so I could not add the capture card into the system. So my next solution was, oh, okay, well, we'll go USB, right? So I purchased a USB-style Elgato capture card.
There might be some kind of... Do you think there's some kind of device that can let you put a PCI Express device into a PCI slot?
I don't know, maybe.
Obviously, it wouldn't run at the full speed, but...
Well, so I ran into an interesting...
And most devices don't need all that speed anyway.
I ran into an interesting issue, though, and that was this. So I figured, okay, so I can't use PCI Express. I can use USB. That's an option, right? I ran into a problem with the USB option, too. Any guesses?
Alright, this is gonna sound dumb, and I think it's dumb, but does the computer not support a new enough USB standard for this thing to work?
Right. What standard do you think I need?
Gosh. 3.0 maybe?
I need USB 3.0. It comes up with a message that says, this system does not support USB 3.0. They're like so it won't work without USB 3.0. So I am like, what the heck? So I can't add USB 3 Because if I wanted to add USB 3, what would I need?
I think you're just kind of screwed at that point.
So part of today's show, because I don't really have that many topics, because I've been doing a bunch of other like work, and like we launched a brand new website for the church too to make a lot of things easier. Our old solution was just horrible, and I'm so happy that we ditched it.
What's your old solution, and what is this website meant to accomplish? I guess
so
solution is better.
So it's the parish website, and we are running on top of WordPress now versus some weird solution from our publisher that does all of our bulletins weekly. And so they had some very simplified version. And the main problem was that because we're doing live streams now, people are having trouble finding the live stream, which we're broadcasting using YouTube. And so with WordPress, what I can do is I have the homepage set up in a way where it's got this nice little slider up there with a giant image that says, live streams, but literally right below that is a section with the live stream video from YouTube embedded right into the homepage.
Oh, can't miss it. Someone probably misses it, though.
I don't know. We have a decent turnout.
Someone will probably manage to miss it.
Yeah, we have a decent turnout. I haven't heard anything from the parish office yet.
That point.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything from the parish office yet saying that people have had trouble finding it since. But
seems like you did a good job then.
Yeah, so anyway, but we couldn't do that with the old solution. It just was too clunky and it didn't give me the options that I needed. So that's one of the reasons why we decided to ditch it and just build a brand new website. Plus, there's so much more that I can do with this thing. So that's been taking up time, and then we've been sending out mass emails to people to try to alert them about new things and stuff like that. So I spent probably a good hour and a half to 2 hours last night going through the parish database and matching up email addresses in our system, in our mass email system that we're using. So now what's nice though, so before what I was doing was I was going through the parish directory, which not everyone is in the parish directory is the problem. You're only in there if you showed up when we took your pictures and things like that. So versus like most everyone is in the parish database, right? And the nice thing about at least the parish database is that I can just type in the last name that I've got in our list, and if they exist, it'll pop up. So, but I went through that, and then I sent out another mass email to all the people that weren't in our parish database that said, hey, do you still want to receive emails? If you do, let us know. I'm going to give this a couple of days, like probably towards the end of the week, and then anyone who doesn't respond back to me, we're going to delete out of our list. So clean it up a little bit, and then that should limit it to just parishioners of the church for the most part. So, and then if people want, they can sign up on the website. But anyway, so that's what's been keeping me busy. So I haven't had a ton of time to plan this show, but here's the thing. So we do want to put a new camera in the church. It's going to come in over SDI, and my options for getting that signal into the computer are either going to be through some kind of USB capture device or some kind of PCI Express device that goes into a computer. So, what is one to do at this point, Zach?
Well, you're gonna need some kind of an adapter on top of an adapter.
Or think of
a new computer.
Bingo! Which is part of what today's show is gonna be. You're gonna help me pick out some parts.
Okay. Right.
So we'll talk about that. But I think that's the best solution to go. We don't need to build a crazy over-the-top system or anything like that. I'm thinking
You mean the church doesn't need an RTX 2080
No.
Ti?
What we have... actually, I still have the box for it. Hang on.
Oh. Okay.
So, here is what is currently in that system right now, at least in terms of a graphic. Actually, it's got a Q66 in it. We upgraded that. So we put a Q66 in, a quad-core processor. And, oh my gosh. So, how's the hair situation going for you, Zach?
Very bad. It's bad.
Mine is too.
It's bad. I think everyone's is bad, though, so it doesn't matter, right?
So, you're either going to see...
If everyone is bad, then no one is bad.
I don't know if I ever did. Did you ever have a bowl cut? No?
No.
I think my old next door neighbor did when I lived in the Twin Cities there. I'm pretty sure he had a bowl cut at one point in time. But
That's funny.
you're gonna see a lot of bowl cuts, and you're gonna see the buzz cut come back. That's what's gonna happen. Anyway, so what we've got in there, we purchased this a while back. Wow, this thing has a 3-year warranty on it. Wow. So here's what we put in there. We put in a Q66 processor to give us a little bit more processing power. I think we're sitting at like 4 gigs of RAM, which isn't great. And it has a NVIDIA PMY NVIDIA GeForce GT 730 in it. Actually, I think this is the box for mine, because I'm pretty sure the one that we have down there is actually like a... It's got more memory than what this one has in here. But anyway. So, we're planning on reusing the graphics card and the hard drive, because those should be more than enough. And I'm thinking we'll probably stick with the quad core. No, and if we're bringing a signal in from an outside camera, that'll probably handle most of the processing power for that. So, anyway, yeah. Oh, so the best part was, right? So, Maverick, remember Maverick?
Mm-hmm. So
Maverick was my old system, and so Maverick does have multiple PCI Express slots, but I don't know if it just can't handle all the information that's coming into it, or the power supply is just not suitable for it. But I kept running... I don't know. I just kept running into... So I put the Elgato capture card into Redmond. Or not Redmond, I'm sorry, Maverick. And I just kept having all sorts of errors. Windows would lock up on me. It would crash.
If I wasn't cutting it, your computer would turn off, no?
Maybe not. I don't know. I just don't think it can handle it. Ever since I pulled that card out of there... Maverick's been running fine.
I don't know.
So, anyway. This is totally going to fail. Oh, that actually worked. That's kind of cool. So, yeah. So, that's going to be part of the show, but we'll do that in a little bit. Let's actually talk about some tech topics maybe here. We'll get into that. So, let's see here. You know what? I really haven't gone through a ton of this yet, so we'll take a couple of these stories here. Right? Oh, shoot. Did I not? I totally forgot to copy a link for our Microsoft news this week, though. We will cover that. But, you know what? Let's start with... Let's start by doing that. Actually, you know what? Let's back up for a moment here, and let's do this. Let's roll the intro real quick. All right. So, did you hear about this? Apple and Google teamed up to help track the spread of coronavirus.
Ooh, I did not.
Yeah, they did. So, basically, what they've done is, well, Apple and Google have announced a huge, ambitious, and potentially controversial contact tracing system designed to help users prevent spreading the novel coronavirus.
I know exactly where this is going.
By figuring out who had contact
tracking everyone's location.
Infected patients. Well, okay, so this is one of those things where they say you can opt in, but it could be one of those things where you're opted,
they don't tell you,
where
and you have to know to opt out.
Where you're opted in without... I don't know. Anyway. So, while details on the system are still slim, given how early in development this project is, not even Apple and Google have figured everything out here yet. Now, we do know a few things, including that the companies are planning to use, this is interesting, Actually, how do you think they're doing it, Zach? What technology are they using to track you?
Yes, I'm sure.
Huh?
Are they using GPS?
No.
I mean, they're probably using the same location services suite that any other app has
No.
access to.
There's no use of GPS in this.
I know. NFC.
No.
Oh?
Nope.
I guess NFC would be dumb because then they'd have to turn it on your phone, and a lot of people have it off. So I don't know. What's the answer?
They're using Bluetooth.
Bluetooth. Well, fair enough. I guess that's like another. I was going in the right direction with NFC.
Yeah, so I guess they're using Bluetooth, and it makes sense. You know, Bluetooth works within a small area. You have to be close to something, and so I would imagine if you're close enough for a Bluetooth signal to connect between devices, you're close enough for this thing to probably spread by being in proximity. And so I guess what ends up happening is that, like, you opt in, you get generated some kind of special token or something like that that identifies your device, but not specifically you. And then it looks to see if your Bluetooth signal connects or it matches up with somebody else's Bluetooth signal. And that kind of determines, like, your proximity to other people. And then if somebody's token comes back as that token, you know, belonging to somebody who had the coronavirus, then all the other tokens for devices that were within the range of that then get a notification that basically say, hey, you should probably quarantine yourself. That's what I understand, at least. So, yeah, so I guess it uses Bluetooth LE, Bluetooth Low Energy Radio Technology as the core of the system.
What happens if you want to turn Bluetooth off?
Well, then it probably doesn't work. But I would imagine that when you turn this thing on, it probably says, hey, your Bluetooth has to be on.
What happens? Yeah, but what happens when they opt you in automatically because they want to know where you are all the time, and then it turns your Bluetooth on?
Well, then you're just screwed. So, as the name suggests, Bluetooth LE is a low-powered alternative to standard Bluetooth technology with a focus on shorter burst of connectivity that uses less power than a traditional, constantly transmitting Bluetooth connection. Oh, okay, so maybe it doesn't matter if your Bluetooth's on or not. A good illustration of the difference is how Apple's AirPods work. A short burst Bluetooth LE connection is used to prompt the initial contact and pairing of the headphones before switching over to regular Bluetooth for streaming the music you want to listen to. So it probably doesn't... Okay, so that makes sense. It probably doesn't have to make an actual connection. It just has to say, oh, hey, okay, cool. These two things were close to each other, and then, yeah, boom. Okay. I don't know. The choice for Bluetooth LE for the contact tracing system is interesting for a couple of reasons. On the surface, there's a lot about Bluetooth LE that makes it ideal for this sort of application. It's supported by nearly every single modern smartphone on the market, from the cheapest budget Android handset to most expensive iPhone or Samsung flagships. And it's very flexible specification, one that works with extremely low power levels, so as to not impact battery life, which is important. One of the keys is Bluetooth LE's proximity profile, the core technology that Bluetooth relies on for device locating and tracking purposes. By measuring how much power is received from a Bluetooth radio signal, we can estimate how far away it is. It's how AirPods know to pop up the "Would you like to connect" dialog on your phone that's nearby and not your roommate's phone across the room, or how tile trackers can help you locate your missing keys. Kind of interesting. Okay.
That's neat, yeah.
There have also been similar applications of Bluetooth LE technology in this vein with products like iBeacons, hardware transmitters that can track local devices and trigger location-based notifications when you're close by. While iBeacons are typically used to track customers in retail stores, offer deals, and serve advertising, the basic technology is actually extremely similar to Apple and Google's proposed system. But it also highlights the flaws, though. To go back on our tile comparison, anyone who's used one of the trackers knows that they're only good for a certain level of precision. Bluetooth can help find the rough area of your missing object, but discerning the exact physical location isn't something Bluetooth LE tech excels at. The thing is, though, is that I don't think this has to necessarily be super, super accurate. It just has to be accurate enough to tell you if you were in proximity to somebody who may have been exposed. Oh, okay. I was thinking you were going to maybe comment there, but okay, I guess not.
Sorry. I don't know. I didn't think you were done.
Yeah, that's why I paused.
Okay, well, anyway, I mean, I don't know. Seems like a neat idea, but can we not use it to, like, you just know this is going to be used for mass surveillance.
I don't know. I really think the idea behind this is not necessarily to track exactly where you're going. I think it's more to track.
Think about it though. That's they're perfecting a way of doing this, which I'm sure in the future, you know, they'll just use it for other stuff.
All right, Zach, I'll let you put your
tinfoil.
I'll let you put your tinfoil hat on.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think it's fairly credible, to be honest. Like,
I don't know. I guess I'm not as
Google
maybe concerned
and,
about
you know, the big data people, they all want to have.
The thing is, well, and I don't know enough about it, but
their business.
Well, this is true, yes.
Their
but
business is learning everything there is to know about.
Let's see here. The thing is, though, is that I think their focus is more on pinpointing what people have come in contact with somebody, not necessarily tracking exactly where you're going.
Oh, of course, I get what you're saying. I'm sure it has good applications and bad.
But if you know,
but
okay,
there's a certain amount of skepticism that needs to be taken when, you know, a company like Google says they developed this really cool thing that lets, you know, track who you've been in close proximity with so that you might know if you've been exposed to someone with coronavirus. You know, like, you know, a company like Google that wants to know that information. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. So interfaces can also be a big issue with this. The more obstacles and obstructions between devices like backpacks, pockets, walls, or windows, the worse the Bluetooth LE is going to be at accurately tracking something, since those obstructions will degrade the radio signal strength used to measure distance. See, this is what makes me think that this is more of it's not so much of a tracking thing. Because here's the thing, if they wanted to track where you are, they can already do that.
Well, yes, and they do.
Like
That's
I said,
I think this is life of owning a smartphone.
I think this is just purely trying to figure out who's in contact, close proximity to other people who may have possibly been exposed. But that's just my opinion.
Having Google creep on you is like, or Apple or whoever, is like just a fact of life of owning a smartphone.
That's a fact of life of owning a computer and using Google
computer.
and using Google's services. I mean, let's just be honest here.
Even if you manage to avoid, well, I don't know. I mean, think about it. How far would you have to go to avoid all of those companies? I mean, you'd have to use exclusively like open source software and.
Oh, even open source software has its own problems.
It does, yeah, but you know, stuff that you can verify isn't taking data off of you.
Well, I wonder.
And not only that, but when you go on websites, you know, they want your data too.
I wonder. Private?
It's just impossible.
Well, actually, okay. What about this? Okay.
It is impossible for them to not get something about it.
Now you'd have to have a crazy internet connection for something like this to work, because it would slow it down dramatically. First things first, you use private browsing windows. Okay. Second, you route your connection through a VPN. Then third, you route that first VPN connection through another VPN connection.
Well, right, but I mean, you know, what about programs and things that want to get information about your computer. You'd have to obscure that information. You'd never be able to sign into anything. You'd have to avoid certain platforms and websites completely. I mean, it's really just unrealistic.
It is unrealistic, so really the only way to make it work is for you to live off the grid.
You basically just have to be like a caveman.
Yeah, basically. But, you know. Let's see.
At least they can do a few cool things by spying on you all the time.
Right.
You know?
I still think the majority of this is not necessarily tracking where people are. It's more
one of my favorite things,
trying to show figure out where it's spreading.
One of my favorite ways that I've heard of to combat that is just to feed it. I think that's super funny.
Is to feed it what, junk?
There are websites you can go to, or programs you can use, or whatever. I don't know. I haven't really looked into it much. That will basically just feed Google, feed the Google stalkers just crap. That will pretend to be you and go and browse on.
Here's the thing, is that while a lot of this can be a bad thing, it can also be a good thing too.
Perhaps.
I guess it depends on how you look at it. But anyway. So a couple weeks ago, remember we talked about how people in the EU were setting 5G towers ablaze?
5G did it. I swear.
So Verizon CEO, Verizon CEO said that conspiracy theorists linking the rollout of 5G to the spread of COVID-19 are false in an interview with CNBC the other day. There's no correlation at all between 5G and coronavirus. He says it's just fake news. He said,
screw Verizon, but he's right.
He said Verizon planned to combat the conspiracy theories with our communication and the industry's communication and with health organizations' communication.
Screw Verizon, but yeah, he's right.
Vestberg was referring to combinations already issued by health organizations and information combating conspiracies about wireless devices and health that can be found at www.wirelesshealthfacts.com. A Verizon spokesperson tells The Verge that site states that radio frequency energy from wireless devices and networks, including radio frequencies used by 5G, has not been shown to cause health problems according to the international scientific community. They also point out...
I want to burn down towers. What do you mean?
And it points to resources and quotes from wireless communication bodies and health organizations supporting that assertion. You know what, though? But here's the problem.
Burn down Verizon's towers.
Okay,
come on.
But in the time that we are living right now, that is actually a really bad thing. Cutting communication services.
And you're telling me facts and logic that says that's a bad thing and that 5G doesn't cause coronavirus? What are you talking about? I just want to burn.
Yeah. So this site also links to a WHO website that spells out how COVID-19 is spread through respiratory droplets and that viruses cannot travel via radio waves or mobile networks.
What? Really? Wow.
It really makes me wonder how people buy into believing some of these things sometimes.
I mean,
is it
believe stupider things than that?
Is it the media? Is it
people think the Earth is flat?
I know. I don't understand it, but
like this is nothing compared to that. Honestly.
See, here's the thing: is that I could totally see this being a thing. Is that somebody starts the joke, right?
Yeah, and then some people believe it.
And then there are people who actually believe it. And then other people start to believe it. But where did this flat Earth society thing come from? Yes, okay, years ago, before we had, the knowledge, right? And it's on this one, I don't get it, because there are scientific facts. We've been to space. We've seen what Earth looks like from space. It is clearly round. But anyway, it's like,
but that's just NASA messing with your eyes.
well, you know what though? Okay, so there are people who believe the moon landing is a hoax. So
People.
they believe that it was filmed in a studio.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I honestly do not care.
I mean, it's not even worth caring at all. It's funny.
So,
What they
now,
think, but still, it is funny.
despite
Those
no,
are the kind of people like, you can tell them anything. You can tell them, give them all kinds of proof, and they'll just like they'll just hand wave it. Be like, well, NASA just lied to you about that too, or whatever.
so
It doesn't matter.
yeah, despite no scientific evidence establishing a link between 5G and coronavirus, conspiracy theorists connecting the two have spread across social media, leading to 5G towers in the UK being, set on fire and people harassing workers laying fiber optic cables. The fiber optic cables don't even contain radio waves. It's light.
Well, technically, that's radio waves. Technically.
Is it really? It's pulses of light.
Okay, but light is electromagnetic energy.
Okay,
It's just
science
radio waves
nerd.
you can see.
All right, science nerd.
Nerd. Anybody should know that. I went to high school.
I don't know.
Relax.
Anyway, so that's a thing that happened. But anyway, let's make fun of Apple real quick here.
I like that idea.
Actually, you know what? Before we do that, I'm sorry. I forgot. We will come back to that, but first, Microsoft news. So, let's go with the Microsoft news real quick here.
Okay.
Because typically 2 stories and then Microsoft news is what we do. But anyway, so Microsoft releases final Windows 10 May 2020 update to testers. Oh, how could this possibly go wrong? What will this release do to my system this time? Will it delete my files? Will my graphics card disappear out of my system? So Microsoft is releasing the final version of its Windows 10 May 2020 update. Let's see. Well, it says today. What day was this? This was on the 16th, so that was on Thursday. That would explain why one of my systems prompted me to do updates. So, maybe. Anyway, I lost my spot. While the update won't roll out automatically to machines until next month. Okay, never mind. Windows 10 testers can get it early by opting into the release preview ring of testing to get the final build. Like the previous November 2019 update, this new update is a relatively small one that includes some improvements to... I thought they killed the Cortana.
They should.
And Windows Search. Oh, so you mean when I actually search for a program that's installed on my computer, it'll actually pop up?
Find it? What is this?
That is the one thing that I do not understand. How many times have you tried to open a program by typing it in and it pulls like a web result back or something?
Actually, not too often.
It's gotten better.
Fairly often, but yeah, it happens sometimes.
You know how many people are confused that you can't just like... So I tell people, I'm like, oh yeah, just search for it. And they're like, what? And I'm like, hit the start menu button and then just start typing. Like, open the start menu, just start typing. You know how many people don't realize you can do that?
Yeah, I know.
So, anyways, Cortana can now be undocked from the Windows 10 taskbar. Okay, it's kind of cool. I mean, I just turned it off, but anyway.
Those few mad people who use...
Yeah, so Cortana can now be undocked from the Windows 10 taskbar, and it includes the ability to choose between typing or talking to the digital assistant. The overall interface has also been tweaked to be more conversational. Microsoft has also added quick searches to the search home interface with this latest update, including weather, news, today in history, and new movies. Oh, joy. I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell you, Microsoft. I don't care!
Microsoft knows what you want. You don't know what you want. They do. So let
I
them
don't
decide what's best for you.
I don't care.
No. You don't get to say that. Accept it.
No. The May 2020 update also features the Windows subsystem for Linux 2, which includes an in-house custom-built Linux kernel. I mean, this is kind of cool. I probably won't use it. The Linux integration in Windows 10 will greatly improve the performance of Microsoft's Linux subsystem in Windows. Microsoft is also promising to update this kernel through Windows Update, and it will be open source so developers can create their own WSL kernel and contribute changes. Okay, that's kind of cool, I guess.
Fair enough. Wouldn't use it. Cool feature.
I don't know enough about it, but yeah, it's kind of a cool feature. It's better than what, like, I think Apple has gone out of their way to, like, lock you out of being able to use Linux on your Mac.
Typical Apple.
I think. Anyway, I got a story about that in a second. Hang on. We'll have a... the version's going to have a full review of the changes in the Windows 10 May 22 update in the coming weeks before its general release. I'm sure they'll find some bugs, and I'm sure it'll give us stuff to talk about. Let's see. Yeah, okay. That's kind of cool. Yeah, so quick story about Apple products. So, quite famously, do you know what switches are being used on the 2018-2019 MacBook Airs?
Crappy ones?
Yeah, which ones? Do you remember?
I don't know.
They're called the butterfly switches.
Okay.
And so anyway, so one of the school districts that we repair devices for at my employer have one for us to fix. Now here's the thing: is that Apple will take care of this problem for you. There's a program set up. You ship your device off to Apple, they'll take care of it for you. But they insisted that we fix it for them. So anyway, of course, me being the computery one, I'm the one who got to fix this thing. So I pop open the back cover and I look inside. Looks like a typical Mac inside. And then I realized that in order to get to the keyboard, guess what I had to do?
I'm gonna go completely bonkers and say remove the screen.
I basically had to disassemble the entire computer. Actually, I did have to disassemble the entire computer.
I was trying to think, well, what sounds really stupid, but maybe.
Well, that did include taking the screen off.
Well, there you go. Okay.
Well, actually, so what we ended up doing is we ended up replacing the whole, like, palm rest component. Or I don't know what they call it, like the top case or something like that, or the bottom case. I don't remember. Anyway, so I basically had to gut the entire MacBook Pro, take the screen off, and then transfer everything to a new part, basically. So bunch of screws, of course, multiple different size screw heads with multiple screws that are different sizes. Not as bad as the iPhone, but yeah, so that was a thing. Anyway, so I get the thing back together, right? I go to turn the thing on, and it doesn't turn on.
What did you do?
I'm like, you have gotta be kidding me. I know. So I open the back cover up, right? You know they say it's bad luck to put the side cover on before the system posts, right? It's bad practice to put the bottom cover on MacBooks before they turn on, apparently. Anyway, so I'm like, what the heck? So I open it back up thinking maybe I forgot to, like, plug something in, right? No, Apple products are just dumb. Turns out that the battery was low, and that if the battery's below a certain point, it just won't do anything.
I mean, technically that should be correct no matter who makes your computer.
No. You should be able to, even if the battery is dead, you should be able to plug it into the wall and turn it on right away.
Well, okay, yeah, fair enough then.
Apple products are like, nah, you plugged it in, but the battery's still too low. We're just not going to do anything. So, anyway, so after playing around with it for about 10 minutes, it finally came on, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, the whole time, I'm like, there is no way I broke this thing. So, anyway, turns out that the part that we had ordered, the first part that we ordered, was the incorrect thing. It was for some model, like, it was like for one of those really, really old MacBook styles. Like, do you remember the like white acrylic ones?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was like a keyboard for one of those. It was one of the silver ones. So anyway, we're like, yeah, that's definitely not right. So anyway, so we reordered it, right? And apparently they rivet the keyboard to the frame. So I'm like, yeah, we should probably just order a whole, like, you know, like frame kind of thing, which is what happened. So we get that part in. I take the thing apart, get everything moved over. Took me like an hour and a half or something like that. I'd already opened the thing up once, so I knew where the screws, like what screws needed to come out, where things were and stuff like that. So anyway, so this new system came with the speakers already installed and the battery already installed. Which I didn't realize did not actually need to come out of the old one. So I pulled those out in my disassembly process. So anyway, get everything out. And I think I put the trackpad in goofy or something like that. Or like there were specific screws that went in specific holes for the trackpad. And some were longer than others. Classic Apple. So anyway, so
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So I had to reopen it back up and tighten those, like redo the trackpad. After I did that though, then because like if you know what an Apple trackpad is supposed to feel like, when I finally got this thing to boot up, and that's a story in itself in a second. I was like, why does the trackpad feel like crap? And so I opened it back up and I took the trackpad back out, put it back in. And that's when I figured out that like the screws were like different lengths, and I'm like, you have got to be freaking kidding me. Like I wasn't surprised, but like, you know, I was like, yep, this is typical Apple. So anyways, after I did that, then the keyboard felt really nice. But anyway, so I put it back together and I plug it in and it doesn't do anything. And my manager's sitting there and I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure I put everything back in correctly. I feel like this thing's just being dumb. So I left it on the charger for a good 20 minutes, half an hour, and it eventually decided to kick on after the battery charged up to like 2%. So, yeah. Oh man, that was annoying. But yeah. So that's enough stupid shenanigans of an Apple device that I can take for, you know, a while now. I can only fix one of those stupid devices like once every 6 months. Because they're just because it's just so stupid. Meanwhile, we have an HP laptop that came in that needs a new screen. I took the entire thing apart with literally one size screwdriver.
That's too easy. No, that's not allowed. That's too easy. People might repair those on their own. What?
Oh, and you want to know the best part? On the Mac,
we can't charge them for repair.
The best part
What?
was,
No.
on the Mac, I had to figure out how to take the thing apart myself. No guide whatsoever. So there's a bunch of pictures and stuff in my phone. That's a really good thing. If you don't know what you're doing when you're taking something apart, take pictures so you know how things are supposed to go back together. Anyway.
True, yeah. That's a good call.
Anyway, so yes. But on the HP laptop, guess what HP conveniently provides on their website for me, Zach?
Disassembly!
Yes, a service manual. Or a service guide.
Wow.
It's just right there with everything else. I can download
We
it,
don't need
and it tells me exactly how to disassemble the device. And in Apple's defense, they do actually provide service manuals for their stuff. You just have to be an ASP.
Yeah, you just have to pay a lot of money.
Yeah. So, anyway. Okay. So, Apple has launched their Mac Pro. It's been out for a while. And they launched the Mac Pro display or whatever it was, right? Do you remember the ridiculous cost for a stand?
$5,000.
Huh?
No, the stand was only $1,000, right?
Yes. For your like $4,000, $5,000 monitor.
Yeah, no problem.
Apple starts selling Mac Pro wheels for any guesses, Zach?
No, how much money?
Take a guess. It's Apple. How much will a set of 4 wheels for your new Mac Pro cost you?
So $400 then.
Not even close.
$800?
Okay, you're a little high now.
Oh.
$699 for 4 wheels. And
you know what?
if you don't want wheels,
you can buy.
if you don't want wheels, you can buy feet for the thing. A set of 4 feet will cost you how much, Zach?
$400.
$399 or $299. Excuse me, $299.
I was like, yes.
Apple is now selling the wheels and feet separately from the 29th. Oh, so apparently they.
You don't even get them when you buy the computer.
You buy a $50,000 computer.
Oh yes, but you need to pay more.
But it doesn't come with the feet.
For some rubber feet for it. You know what? I can go to.
I don't know
Home
if
Depot
I don't
and
know if
buy
these are
some little
actually. They might not
sticky
be.
pads for like $1. And
They
just
might not be
stack it on
rubber
the bottom,
feet.
Whatever, you know.
They might not be rubber feet. I'm wondering if they're like metal feet or something like
They
that.
better
But anyway.
be solid gold to be worth that much.
So Apple's now selling the wheels and feet separately from the 2019 Mac Pro via individual kits. But like the Mac Pro itself, both kits are pretty expensive. If you configure your Mac Pro with the standard feet and want to give it some mobility, the $699 Mac Pro wheel kit gives you 4 stainless steel wheels you can install. But you should be aware that the Mac Pro's wheels are cheaper when you buy them as part of a Mac Pro configuration. They're only going to cost you, what, $400? What? So for the privilege of buying them after the configuration and you installing them yourself, you have to pay an additional like $200 some. What? The $299 Mac Pro feet kit gives you 4 stainless steel feet you can install on your Mac Pro. If you configure a Mac Pro with wheels when you bought it, you can install the feet to make sure your Mac Pro won't roll around. Okay? Apple says both kits come with a 1/4 inch to 4mm hex, but that additional tools are necessary for install. What? You can't. Apple can't even provide tools.
Like I said, I can go to Home Depot and get some little felt pads or whatever for a couple bucks.
You've got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. What? Okay, hold on. Hold on. Okay? What would you like to look at first, Zach? Would you like to look at the feet first or the wheels first? I got both product pages here. Which one?
Do your worst.
Which one?
Do your worst.
Okay, let's start with the feet. Okay? So there's the feet. And let me grab the other link.
What is this? What is this? It's just some. They look doorknobs.
Let me.
Like a couple of little doorknobs to put on the bottom of your Mac Pro, and they cost $300. Why does it cost $300?
Apple Mac Pro Feet Kit.
Mac Pro
$299. Plus, standard delivery is free, or express delivery, at least to 60601, wherever the heck that is $8.
Better be coming within an hour for that much money.
Is $8.
There's the wheels kit. I see it. There's the stand.
Wait, hang on. Overview. Product. Okay, so I'm on the feet. Here's what the feet look like. You're right, they do look like a door handle. Oh my gosh. Use the Mac Pro Feet Kit to install stainless steel feet to the bottom of your Mac Pro. The standard Mac Pro comes with 4 feet already installed, but if you purchase a Mac Pro with wheels, you can replace each of them with feet for improved stability. Well, then why did you buy the wheels in the first place? Installation.
Why would you even need wheels?
To move this.
I kind of want to know about that.
To move your $1,000 Mac Pro around.
Do you not have hands?
Or not your 1,000.
Pick it up.
No, you're too prestigious for that. If you're buying a $50,000 Mac Pro.
Why can't you just okay? Look, so we have evolved, okay, unlike other creatures, to have opposable thumbs that make gripping things and lifting them very easy. So you don't need a $700.
Yeah, but we're also Americans and we're lazy. Why pick up your Mac Pro when you can just wheel it around? Installation required. A 1/4 inch to 4mm hex bit is included, but additional tools are necessary. Replacing the Mac Pro wheels with feet reduces approximately 1 inch to the height of the frame. Highlights, Zach.
Put it on a cart then. I don't care. Put it on a cart.
Highlights here. Compatible with Mac Pro, current generation. That's the highlights. What's in the box? 4 feet for Mac Pro, installation guide, and a 1/4 inch to 4mm hex bit.
Well, let's see. I can find. Oh, here's a cart on Amazon for $30. Lift Mac, place on cart, wheel to your heart's content.
Is that what it actually says in the description?
No.
Oh, that would be hilarious. That would be hilarious if it did.
Looked on Amazon. I'm like, all right, here you go. This is what we're looking for.
So,
right?
Here's the Apple Mac Pro wheels kit. This is what these look like.
Yep, I already saw it.
Those on the stream have not seen it yet, though. They look like a donut.
Better be a solid gold donut.
Actually, they kind of look like a reversed Oreo, actually.
Yeah, I can see it.
Anyway, put your Mac Pro on wheels with a Mac Pro wheels kit. The custom designed stainless steel and rubber wheels make it easy to move your Mac Pro around, whether sliding it out from under your desk or across your studio. Installation required. A 1/4 inch to 4mm hex bit is included, but additional tools are necessary. Replacing the Mac Pro feet with wheels adds approximately 1 inch to the height of the frame. Highlights: compatible with Mac Pro, adds improved mobility to your Mac Pro. Oh, goodness. Yeah, and here's the Pro stand. $999. And it doesn't even provide a side-to-side swivel. It's just up and down.
You don't need that.
So, anyway. But, yeah. So, that's all I got for topics this week. Let's build a system. So I'm thinking.
I'm thinking that I'm kind of hungry. Can we do it later?
What, you don't want to build one on... Okay. Well... Okay. Well, we'll leave that for... What is later? Tell me what later is. Well, that's not good enough. This is something that actually needs to be built soon.
Well, I need to eat, so that's
the
thing too.
I know. So what is later?
I don't know. Whenever I get to it.
Which is when? Today?
Relax,
tomorrow?
it'll be fine.
Today? Tomorrow?
Tonight.
Oh, okay, tonight. That's what I was looking.
You can come up with something anyway.
Yeah, I know, but you know the hardware a little bit better than I do. I don't know. Anyway. Sometimes you have better recommendations than I do. So, well, okay, fine. Somebody's complaining that they're hungry, so...
I am hungry. Somebody's complaining. It's nearly 7 o'clock. I haven't eaten dinner yet.
Oh, man. Alright, fine. Since Zach's complaining that he's hungry...
Oh, it's all your fault. He's hungry. What is wrong with him?
Oh, you poor thing. Yeah. Some people don't have food.
Okay. I mean, that doesn't make me less hungry.
Oh, man. Okay, fine. Whatever. You're right. It is almost 7 o'clock. I didn't realize what time it was. So, I didn't realize how long it was going to take us to go through those topics, apparently. So, anyway, well, with that said, I guess we're not building a system on stream tonight. But, yeah, we will discuss the build, I'm sure, at some point here on the channel. Anyway, with that said, thanks for joining us. It's kind of an unconventional show this week, but everything is so screwy. But yeah, stay safe, stay quarantined. I don't know what else. Watch a Netflix and whatever. Subscribe to the channel, and yeah, we'll see you, I think, next week. So yeah, bye.